There once was a man named Shumu, and his son was very ill. He promised his son that he would get him better. He set off to the doctor's office to see if there was any medicine for his son. Shumu walks in and asks the doctor if there's anything he can do for his son. The doctor looks at him and says no. His son is far too sick and far too weak. Shumu walks home, distraught, but an alchemist stopped him before he could get there. He asked if they could talk inside about his ill son. The alchemist talked to Shumu about an elixir of life that would heal any illness and make someone live forever. Shumu asked if anyone's ever tried to get it before. The alchemist said yes, but he had never returned. Shumu just simply asked, "Which way is it?" The alchemist replied, "Take that river, go south until you meet the ocean. That is all I know." Shumu set off on his journey, feeling as though someone was following him. He met a storm, and then a water spirit attacked him and capsized his boat. Shumu struggled for air, and then he went unconscious. He woke up in a strange room with no exit. There he found the remains of the last man who sought the elixir of life. Seeing the only way out was the portal, he decided to step through. Shumu was transported to a strange underworld. He decided to keep going forward and look for a way out. Little did Shumu know, there was another angry spirit following him, the fire spirit. Shumu looked at the fortress and decided it was his best bet at getting back home to his son. While he was crossing the bridge, the fire spirit attacked. The fire spirit was angry that Shumu was in his home, so he chased him and lit everything ablaze. Shumu ran until he found another portal, and without thinking he stepped through. The fire spirit could not go any further. Shumu was transported to yet another world, this time a heavenly one. He sees armor and a sword, and he knows what he must do. He must defeat the dragon for passage home. After hours and hours of fighting the dragon, Shumu finally defeats it. After the battle, Shumu feels so exhausted that he faints. Yet again, Shumu wakes up somewhere else. He wakes up at the bottom of a mountain, and he sees a large temple. He decides to go towards it. At the temple, he meets a monk. This must be the holder of the magic elixir. Shumu goes forward to question him about the elixir of life. The monk explains that the elixir of life needs a life in order to save one. Shumu knows what he must do. He must sacrifice his own life for the life of his son. The monk says, in order to live forever, he must not be afraid to die. Shumu jumps. Years go by, and the father has never returned. A messenger goes and visits the alchemist to tell him. The messenger tells the alchemist that it's been over a year, and the father's still not returned. The alchemist says he will go check on the son to see if he's doing any better. The alchemist goes over to the house and finds it destroyed and abandoned, and the son nowhere to be found. So we crafted this story with different references to Taoism. So first, Taoism architecture you can see in all the buildings that we used. Shufu was a Taoist alchemist. We renamed it to Shumu for the main character. Qin Shi Huang, he actually sent people out to find the elixir of life, and they never came back, so we kind of interpreted that in our skit. The elixir of life, obviously, is the main plot point of the story, where someone had to sacrifice their life to try to find it. The Jade Emperor was actually one of the people in the mythologies that had actually found the elixir of life, and Mount Pengali was the final location that you saw at the end.